Hey everybody, Josh here for Whiskey Wednesday for Argonaut Wine and Liquor. Today I'm joined by Andrew from European Wine and Spirits, and we are releasing our newest single barrel brought to you by your Argonaut double gold winning barrel picking team. This is our Kilchoman private vatting. Burton, you want to tell us a little bit about the distillery and what you guys do?
Absolutely. So Kilchoman has been around since about 2005. So they were actually the newest distillery on Islay in about 124 years when they built it out. They are currently the only distillery on all of Islay that uses 100% Islay grown barley on all of their releases. So no barley from anywhere else. They malt all the barley themselves on site, which is also very uncommon in Islay. The Machir Bay standard release launched in about 2012. So it took them a few years to get up and running, get everything built, get the stocks in and whatnot. So the distillery is just getting ready to go on their 20-year anniversary. But a really cool, independently family-owned, no giant company owns them or anything like that. So they're able to do a lot of what they want and approach things in the way that they see fit. This is a collaborative vatting for Argonaut. And in that case, you get to make some decisions as to how much bourbon influence you get and how much sherry influence you get. In this particular case, they went for the 12.5% sherry. So there's only one step above that. So this is definitely up the line as far as the sherry goes, and fruit definitely shows in it, I think. Kilchoman also just recently signed a contract with Breckenridge Brewery up, of course, in Breckenridge, Colorado. And they're now using Breckenridge barrels 100% for their bourbon barrels. So kind of a cool connection to Colorado and kind of drives it home a little bit for us.
As local as a Scotch can be, right?
As local as a Scotch can be, absolutely.
Yes, we've done a couple of these vatting series before. So if you've had them in the past, this one's obviously different. We went with a different proportion of sherry to bourbon casks. So let's dive in. I mean, the nose on this guy, there's definitely some smoke at the back. It's not your like super heavy, peaty, like iodine-y smoke, but more of like, I was thinking like a campfire that after you've been cooking on it for a long time is just kind of smoldering out at the end, just light smoke.
Bonfire is one that's often used in relation for Kilchoman as far as tasting notes.
But there's also, there's a ton of fruit on the nose too.
Yeah, and that's definitely the sherry talking. I get right up front just kind of a bitter honey, which I think is really nice.
Mm-hmm. Definitely some, red fruits, even a little, like almost kind of bleeding into those tropical fruit notes on the nose.
Yeah, definitely some nice citrus up front. I get some lemon, maybe a little mango or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It sits at about 50 parts per million in the phenol measurement. So the really high side would be about 60 parts per million. So kind of moderate. There's definitely some that are significantly lower, but as far as an Islay goes, smoke is there, it's up front, you're not going to miss it. But it's also not a total punch in the face.
Right.
You got a little room to breathe, and I think the fruit and the vanillas and the sweeter bourbon notes definitely come through with a little oxidation. So a little air. I would say pour it 5 to 10 minutes before you start taking your sips, and it'll open a little bit, which I think is good for anything kind of high proof or with just strong notes.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. The palate really kind of follows the nose. It's sweet up front. It's fruity. The sweet notes really jump out right off the tongue. And then, there's just that little hint of smoke on the back. If you're someone who says, like, I don't like smoky scotches, right? This is one you may want to try because it's not that huge punch in your face. You mentioned the parts per million. Some of those, on the higher end can be up to 200-300 parts per million. So this is a fourth to a sixth less just in the parts per million range for this Scotch compared to some of those. So really, it's definitely still there. You definitely get some of the smoke, but it's not intimidating. It's not punchy in the face.
Absolutely.
And then because this is an Argonaut, single barrel, you do get entries into this month's lottery for this year's Willet barrel. It's almost here. We're super excited for it. Going to be an 11-year, so definitely something you're going to want to get a bunch of entries in. Come on down and give them a shot. Cheers.
Cheers.